Roll Tide, everybody. I'm Steve Sample with Bama Talk. If you're an Alabama fan or just a football fan in general, we think you'll enjoy the show. And one of the great things about our podcast format is that you can listen anytime you like because every episode's available 24/7. You can find us in the podcast section of iTunes or at bigbrainsmedia.com, or you can go to our Bama Talk Facebook page and hit the Listen to the Show button. Get your gridiron groove on with Bama Talk and Roll Tide.
This is the morning edition of the Weather Xtreme video. This is for Tuesday, the 29th of October. I'm James Spann. We warm up in the short term. Storms before the week is over. When does the rain start? Is there a severe weather threat? A lot of questions in here, so let's get in there and take a look. Let's go to the big picture. This is the water vapor satellite imagery across the lower 48. And you can see the contours at 500 millibars superimposed on top of that. And you can see that big upper low and trough in the western states. And that is progressive. It will ultimately affect Alabama later this week. But in the meantime, an upper ridge will build in the short term. So we indeed warm up today and tomorrow. Starting off the day mostly in the 50s. The cool spot is Fort Payne. They're at 50 and Haleyville at 50. But we'll see upper 70s today. And some of you could touch 80 degrees tomorrow here in late October. That's about 10 degrees above average. But, it's cold over Canada and the northern U.S. Coldest of the season. Some of the colder pockets up in Montana are in the single digits this morning. And the air will take its time in reaching us, and by the time it gets in here this weekend, it will modify. So this weekend, not as cold as last weekend around here. On the watch warning map, some fog issues north of the state up around Nashville. Up into parts of Kentucky and out west, there are winter weather advisories in scattered pockets with that big upper trough and the cold air out there. But, of course, we are more interested in the warm sector, so let's see what the severe weather risks look like. This is today, a small slight risk for parts of Texas and southwest Oklahoma. Tomorrow, the risk is a little larger up and down the I-35 corridor, Dallas-Fort Worth over to Abilene, up to Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Wichita, almost to Omaha, Nebraska. And, of course, this is the one that interests us. This is day 3. This is Thursday and Thursday night. A risk of severe weather from Houston to near Cincinnati. And that includes northwest Alabama, areas generally west of a line from Huntsville to near Millport and Sulligent in Lamar County. And there is an enhancement now. That 30% probability includes Memphis, Tupelo. It does include Florence up there in that northwestern corner of the state, and Nashville. And I think that's a pretty good call. And again, we'll look at a lot of model data here in a minute, but clearly the higher severe weather risk will be up in that region northwest of where we are. And we think the storms will weaken late Thursday night as they gradually drop south. And here's the rain for the next 5 days. This carries us through Sunday morning at 7 o'clock, and this is showing rain amounts of 1 to 1.5 inches here, and that jives up nicely with model output. Bigger numbers off to the west. All right, let's talk about things in detail. Let's get into the extreme stuff. The model output, this is the GFS, valid at 1 o'clock this afternoon at 500 millibars. This is the OZ run, upper high over the Gulf, big trough in the west. And down below that for us, we'll stay dry today. The sky partially sunny and temperatures begin to warm up. We figure most locations will reach the upper 70s today. Tomorrow, a 1,004 surface low, 1,004 millibar surface low is on the Kansas-Nebraska border. And you can see storms clearly could break out that are pretty strong in the warm sector south and east of that. But around here, we'll stay dry, and we'll be pushing 80 tomorrow. In fact, both the NAM and the GFS are printing a high of 81. Pretty balmy. All right, this is Thursday. This is Halloween, so everybody wants to know about the trick-or-treating. Let's see if we can get the timing down. This is 1 o'clock. Now, the GFS is a touch faster. This is suggesting those storms are kind of knocking on the door of northwest Alabama Thursday afternoon. All right, this is Thursday evening at 7 o'clock, and this is showing potential for rain as far east as Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, and Gadsden, I-59. So it's a little faster. And that would suggest there might be an issue for the trick-or-treat. Obviously, the earlier you can get the kids out there and get the candy, the better. That's their advice. It starts getting dark now, about 5:30, 5:45. I'd get them out there. And then this is just after midnight Thursday night. This is 1 a.m. Friday. Should be raining heavily across much of the state. It'll be a good rain. The storm should be weakening at that point. And this is Friday at midday. This is 1 o'clock Friday afternoon. Showers and storms confined to areas mostly south and east of Montgomery. But that's just one model run. Let's look at the NAM. We've got the NAM now where we can take a look at things Thursday night. This is Thursday night at 10 o'clock local time. The NAM is a little slower, and it kind of jives in line with our forecast that we've thrown out there. But still, it's got those storms moving into that I-59 corridor by 9 to 10 o'clock Thursday night. We had figured for Tuscaloosa and Birmingham and Anniston and Gadsden, the main organized batch of storms would be 9 o'clock or later. And this kind of jives up with that. And this is Friday. It's much slower in getting the rain out of here. It still got us in rain at midday Friday. So in terms of the timing, Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, out of respect to that faster GFS, will probably open up the window now at 7 o'clock Thursday evening and carry it on through probably early Friday afternoon. All right, severe weather threat. What about that? Let's start with the low-level jet. This is the projected winds about 5,000 feet off the ground. This is where the pressure is 850 millibars Thursday eevening. Got a pretty well-defined low-level jet there. Running through northeast Mississippi and northwest Alabama. You can see the 50-knot winds projected there. Pretty decent low-level jet. It's not, overwhelming or anything, but clearly that would support severe weather. That's one of the elements involved. Now let's look at the shear numbers. Now I'm going to go down and do the bulk shear between the surface and 925 millibars. If you're looking for tornado activity, you want to see higher numbers in this metric, and they're pretty high. Now, this is 7 p.m. Thursday, Central Time, and the bulk shear numbers are very high around the Mississippi Delta, up to about Memphis and up toward Paducah, Kentucky. And I think there's no doubt within that enhancement that the guys at SPC had, there could be a few tornadoes in there Thursday evening. But watch what happens. We go to 9 o'clock Thursday night, and those bulk shear numbers really come down. So, once you get past, 6, 7 o'clock Thursday evening, the tornado threat would really drop off here in our state. So in terms of the tornado risk, I'd say, yes, Memphis, Greenville, Mississippi, Greenwood, Mississippi, Jackson, Tennessee, Paducah, Kentucky. That area would have a tornado threat, and then Thursday night as the storms move in here, the tornado threat really diminishes. We'll look at the instability. This is the surface-based CAPE. Again, this is valid Thursday evening at 7 o'clock local time, and there's just not a lot here. There is a sliver of higher instability values way back to the west, and this is late Thursday night, just after midnight, 1 a.m. Friday, and again, the higher capes are still west of here, and our numbers just very unimpressive. So that's the main limiting factor. It's the lack of instability. But we do note the dew points are projected to get up into the 65-degree range Thursday evening, and that's fairly high. And you can have severe weather with low capes. It's not out of the question. A lot of these cool season events have low capes and high shear values, but this one's just not overwhelming. So again, I say the severe weather threat is not zero. There could be a few severe storms, but for us, the main threat would be from strong straight-line winds out of the line of storms. Late Thursday night, the better tornado threat north and west of the state, West Tennessee, northwest Mississippi, around the Delta. And again, that rain will linger into Friday. Let's go to the weekend. This is Saturday, 1 o'clock local time. Different kind of day. Cool air advection. Highs drop into the 60s. That's a cool air mass coming down the pike. Probably low to mid-60s with a very chilly north breeze. The sky should be sunny. And Sunday morning will be pretty cold. We'll be down there in the upper 30s and low 40s. The high Sunday, low to mid-60s. The sky will be sunny. There's a look at the temperature plots. You can see how the numbers kind of bottom out there Sunday morning. somewhere between 38 and 42. All right, we'll go to Monday of next week. The winds veer into the south as that high is around Cape Cod. And a week from today, Tuesday of next week, we're dry, but storms are located just west of the state. And this is Wednesday of next week. This is November 6th. That's a pretty impressive-looking trough coming in here, and that looks wet and stormy. So our next round of storms will be toward the middle of next week around Wednesday. And again, this is the fall tornado season. This is expected in November and December to have, strong storms like this. So we'll keep an eye on that for severe weather potential. Way too early to make a determination now, but clearly there could be some strong storms with that. We'll check the end of the forecast. This is the 13th of November out there toward mid-month. And boy, that's not a cool pattern. Look at that 588 upper high over the southeast, troughing way out west. And if that's right, that would be warm and dry for us. That's it for the Weather Xtreme video this morning. We'll have notes in the blog. Next video here by 4 o'clock today. If you can, catch us on ABC 3340 News this evening on the live stream or the television side at 4, 5, 6, and 10. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day, and God bless.